gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. It's 'cause you are. They'll gladly stagnate a living wage, snap the chains and bury it. Labor slaves in rusty cages dragged behind a chariot, led by Mr. Racial Jungle, Joseph or Iscariot, fighting over scraps as they barrage us all with variants and BuzzFeed clickbait, straight until we're paralyzed, trying to distract us from the concentration camps that Joe had swore he'd close but only chose to amplify, where they got 50-something kids in cages made for 5 to occupy. And no, she hasn't seen the camps, but Harris swears they're paradise. She tells us the facilities are safe, and that right down to the women, they are regularly sterilized. Then she throws her head back and she proceeds to laugh, that sort of heartless cackle you'd expect from someone working steadfastly on behalf of the virus and a Congress full of parasites. And where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly all the narratives expected from the verified. I was busy breeding verbal leeches by the terabyte. Train them to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night. Bleed the oil barons dry and barren, say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. Tell them I contracted rabies from a feral mic. Now I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights, forced to change its habits and adapt to just survive. But now it's safe to say that some of us are thriving in the moment, throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you feel like you're just powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective might, 'cause I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective rights. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near, and all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of a rabid bite. And baby, one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Honey, if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. See, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, and tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, because you aren't, because we aren't. You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and make you build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, because you aren't, because we aren't.
Sorry I'm so gloomy, but the gloom is half the mood. Welcome to the country where they throw out half the food. Like fuck you if you're hungry, we got better things to do. Got a million more priorities than human rights for you.
Just empty stomachs wandering an empty store, with shelves as empty as our craters left on distant shores. They mark the spot where once a country thrived that even tried to help its poor. Now in its place, a fascist state where rape is just a tool of war. I guess they took a page from out the book we used in 64. Villagers we stacked in graves, caked in fucking Agent Orange. Now cut to yesterday, Afghanistan endures the very storm that swept its way through Vietnam, where even now the blood is warm. And even now Fallujah celebrates to see a baby born who's not deformed, not warped by little presents we left hidden in the dirt, courtesy of all your friends at the World Economic Forum. Courtesy of civilized political decorum. Unity across the aisle, both sides agreeing via war crime quorum. I'd like to say that when they start the midterm texts, I'll be able to ignore them. But I know myself well enough to know I'm gonna draw them all rhetorically, then verbally I'll quarter them. Lyrically I'll carpet bomb and mortar them. Purely via metaphor I'll bury them alive, but upside down, with the utmost blasphemy intended out of spite. Now lyrically I'll lead them by the eyes, 'cause lyrically I'm still beneath the ice, scratching at the surface for a purpose they deny. And every time they smile and they look me in the eyes, suddenly I'm 6 feet under subprime. 6 feet standing firmly in between you and the sunrise. And now your movement's as restricted as the sunrise. Now it's crippled into parody like Occupy. Young hearts be 3 young Turks, here to slowly poison hearts and minds. Here to get them speaking press release in record time. Here to get them standing up for AOC and every other Langley plant who sprays a coat of tax the rich across their Semper Fi. Now the skies are nice and clear, the drones are set to fly. They're following the pipeline of how the West was won to how the West declined, to how the West made debt into a genocide, to how the West demolishes a picket line, to how the West contaminates a riverside, to how the West's war crimes are glamorized, to how the West protects the kind of medical neglect that is infanticide at best and is at worst an ethnic cleansing rite. Nah, it's safe to say it's all fun and games until the feds arrive. Oh shit.
I'm seeing it. Yeah, there we are. I'm seeing
Hi, Mikes. Hi, Mikes. Okay, mics are hot now. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Oh, hi, Mike.
Oh, boy.
Oh, hi, Mike.
One of these days I'll get it right, and we'll actually time everything and not have a whole hiccup. Hi, everybody. Away.
But what a feel is. Hey, everybody.
It's Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. See, I don't even know what day it is.
Yep. Another Wednesday night here.
Another hot Wednesday night. And stay tuned for. Yes. No, this is American tradition. Hi, everybody. We just started.
Hi, everybody.
I'm waiting for Cynic. It's not a party until Cynic is here officially. So we got 8, and we're gonna have more. It's good. This is episode 23, so it's the Michael Jordan episode. So it's our greatest hits. Of course, it has to be a greatest hits with Michael Jordan. 23, LeBron James. So this is episode 23, and we're gonna play some songs. Jesse just told me, and I really didn't know until 5 minutes before we got here what we were gonna do. So we got 5 songs, 5 spoken words, and that'll be that. And we'll have some fun. If we need to get a third one in for all the greatest hits, we'll get a third one in. But yeah, there's
definitely more spoken word that I could stand to do that I feel wouldn't go amiss. But
it's been 2 weeks since our last one, and
I know
If we do another Seuss one, my kids are insisting that I have to send you a book because we're not allowed to do another one until.
What pet should I get?
Yeah, until what pet should I get?
Anthony and Charlie Mac.
And now we got now each one is starting to put a reading list together of which one they want. So now I'm gonna have to send you a whole slew of Seuss
I love
books.
it.
I do too, kind of. That's great. I can do that all day.
The Seuss is loose.
The Seuss is loose. We were actually or what was the one that he had me playing tonight? My son asked me what the hell was the one that I picked up. Now I'm not gonna be able to find it. Of course, because we're live.
Yep. Now that the heat's on.
Yep. It's gone. It's officially gone.
Pressure.
Yep. We're crashing. Well, I know what I can do.
The wheels are off, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I was actually uploading some stuff to our YouTube, to our family YouTube, but we were watching. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, was I logged into a different account?
I don't know.
This is fascinating for everyone. Sorry, everybody. We're gonna get to some music, I promise.
That's banter, right? We're bantering. That's
Bartholomew and the Ublik. And I was like, how did you know that?
I've never read that.
No, I hadn't either. And I'm like, how did you know that one? They're like, he's like, we read that last year. He's 5. He remembered last year on Seuss Day. That's impressive.
Right?
So I'll have to send that out. And we'll have to check that one out.
That's impressive as hell.
It really is. Oh, there she is. Now it's a party. Cynic's here.
Yep.
And we got Charlie Mac. Charlie Mac's in the house, and Anthony. Okay, so now we've got the family here. We got the core.
See,
Reef's
Anthony says
here.
the banter turns him on, keeps him going. Here's to you, Anthony. Here's to the inner circle of fans known as the Banter Boys.
Ooh, well, that looks
from here on.
It looks like it'll burn your chest.
Salud.
Salud.
And luckily, to chase this bourbon, I've got some apple juice in my son's skull cup.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, my son's skull chalice.
That is a true dad moment right there, where you're drinking your chaser out of one of your son's cups.
Yep. Hey, I am nothing if not resourceful.
Ugh, gross. Okay.
All right.
So, what do we got?
We're gonna be getting down to brass tacks tonight.
I love it.
Make sure this bad boy is in tune. Yeah, I'm excited for these ones.
Yeah, this is the one, kind of what we didn't get the chance to get to last time, but certainly was worthy of being a greatest hit. And we turned to each other after the last one was over, and we were like, "Did we do American Tradition, like the name of the show?"
I know. Roll credits. It's like seeing Big Country and they didn't play Big Country.
Right? It's like somehow that seems like an oversight. But no, we just didn't get a chance, so here we are tonight. All right, we're tuning up.
Yeah, we're good.
Nice. Let's do it.
We're tuned. All right. Yeah, this has been a minute since I played the song.
Oh. What happened?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally muted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. The only time I did American Tradition was on the very first show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Guitar a little too bright. I have my gain up a little higher than I usually do.
No, you're good. You're good. There's no feedback. There's no vibration. There's nothing. It sounds great.
Still just a little bright. Yeah, this fun fact, when I first put this song on Twitter was the same day that I got banned I got my first 7-day ban for my comments to the infamous Bean Dad. I don't know if anyone remembers Bean Dad in the discourse annals, but I guess it fell under one of those like wishing ill on someone, and it was literally like basically arthritis, essentially. But yeah, that was enough. But anyways, I had put the song up, said my piece to the Bean Dad, walked away from Twitter for a while, come back later, and it's like, oh, you've got a 7-day ban. I was like, oh, one of my songs was finally dangerous enough to get me taken out. But no, it was my Bean Dad. My Bean Dad comment was what did it. So
Jesse's just too hardcore.
I know. I was like, man, I thought this one was going to do it, but all right. Yeah, this is a great experiment.
Read my lips, brand new taxes, starving all the billionaires and neutering their Visa Maxes. Topple Congress off their axis, mobilize the homeless, give them access, call it praxis. Chop a couple limbs off the legislative branches. We'll show you the difference between air as a human right and guaranteed oxygen access. Octogenarians who barely know what day it is are calling countless citizens while sitting on a dais made of ignorance that was built on the graves of the slaves made to labor for its self-declared significance, and all to build a Congress full of millionaires who make their fortunes insider trading while they shit on all the indigent. So I got a bone to pick with our leaders, and I'll start with the ligaments. I'll pick right through the muscle, dig the marrow out and serve it to the unhoused millions living in their minivans, watching their belongings get evicted out their tenement. See, I have a dream where we breach the walls of Congress and just let them in. And what happens next will survive in only text, because there won't be any evidence. There will only be that heavy kind of feeling that pervades a space where there had been a reckoning, and you can feel its remnants. Let any man who enters seeking power know that those who came before him suffocated on their eminence. That there once was a seal on the wall, but we quartered it and scattered all the pieces that it might prevent its semblance. And so we end the great experiment. We'll take all your billions, leave you 2 coins for the ferryman. Leave you drifting on a Dutchman, floating derelict among the wretched seraphim. For holy is the hand that wiped the land clean of those who pose as gentlemen. That's my time, honey. Cue the thunderclap and strike the theremin. So we end the great experiment. And that's a great experiment.
That's great. The only thing that I was missing there is that little extra.
Yeah.
Like that little.
You mean my sweet ass solo? You mean my
right?
sweet guitar solo?
Of course.
Oh, that's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Yep, something like
Nice.
And
there
there
you go. There you go. Nice.
Breaking down the track bit by bit. All the intricacies.
So good. So good. So that was the great experiment, folks. That was originally available on inauguration gift. See, I know. I got that down. I got that part down.
All right. And speaking of inauguration gift, here's the very next track on the record. Interestingly enough. Actually, we don't need a pick for this. Fuck you, pick.
Joe said if you vote for him, he'll abdicate his throne as the father of the crime bill, soul of Jim Crow, proud to live and vote as a Strom Thurmond clone. If he tried to kiss your daughter with the camera rolling, he'll try more than kissing her alone. He'll cozy up with Jill for a photo like a portrait of the Kissingers at home. You know I hate to kill the messenger, but if he's gotta go, we could FaceTime and I'll slit its throat while it stares into the phone. Like if you don't know, kitten, now you know that this is where austerity has gotten us. This is all that palpable excitement for a 20-year wait on forgiveness for your student loans. But a distraction's a distraction and it's time to see some action. So here's one last song for Joe. Before I try to keep his name out of the lyrics in my phone, I try to shift the focus to our senators and everyone in Congress who is all too happy to be hidden while we're wasted to the bone. And it is not food insecure, it's starvation. It lurks in almost half this country's homes. So if you're gonna lay down, hold your nose and vote for Joe, have the guts to admit that you chose to submit and that you decided lending your support to a pedophile must be a step towards hope. That a vote for a man who spent his whole life implementing laws that dehumanized people of color is a vote against fascism. When you know damn well he's just a kinder, dumber face on the same white nationalism. So baby, throw away your scruples with the memories of your activism. Watch your weak resistance usher in a fucking cataclysm. Elect a bigot war pig and say you're gonna push him into pacifism. That's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Baby, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. That's some fucking... I had to do the same stop as the album. It feels so wrong. No matter what version I do, I could do that song with the fucking symphony orchestra. We will stop on that's some fucking. That's how the song will end.
It absolutely has to. Yes.
So let it be written.
It has to. It's yeah. It's kind of like the end of said you wait. You know, it's the end of Sunday morning. You know.
Yeah. Right.
Said
exactly.
you're waiting for the warning, but the warning never.
Yeah.
You know, like. It's just gotta cut it. So
you know, I when I was picking track order for Inauguration Gift, I didn't have I had some ideas of there were a few that I wanted paired, a couple that I wanted near the end versus the beginning, but I really just kind of looked at it, did what felt right, didn't think about that abrupt ending and what was going to come next. I just knew I wanted this near the end, and I put Red Pill after it. But man, listening on something that doesn't delay, like Spotify or whatever streaming thing, when it goes, that's some fucking right into the first chord of Red Pilled on the piano. Right. I was like, oh man, that was such a happy little accident that right? I'm so happy that turned out the way it did. Really am.
How many times have I heard that into that? Yep.
Right.
Thank you. Thanks for doing that. All right. Let's get a little more recent. Hey, Fred Edward, welcome. I'm sure he's around somewhere, it looks like. Rockfin.com/INN, everybody. We're over there. Commercial free, ad free if you don't have YouTube Premium. No ads at rockfin.com/INN all the time.
Just gonna mute this real quick to tune up.
Okay. Cool. So tomorrow night on INN, we're going to have INN News with Colin Care Bear and, of course, Reef. You should definitely check out Reef, who was on with JB Font earlier today. So go subscribe if you're not already to JB Font, and listen. You can listen to Reef, who was on for the first hour and a half or so of the show today. Love JB. I'm guessing I'm going to go on with him soon. We're just trying to work out the right day. They're great. That show, he does great work over there. He covers real stories. That's Reef and Collar both like, he covers real stuff over there. Like, yes, he does. He does great work. Love that guy. Got a tight haircut too. All right. We got
and we're back.
Everybody. VS Adams. We saw VS Adams today in chat in JB chat. No, they were there.
Okay. Yeah, suddenly we're jumping to some new songs. Well, not new, but recent.
Let's do this. Love it.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. But what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, you say say. I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days, then I still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, you're safe. Oh, you're safe. Fresh off the mess, the brand new cancerous growth, who has come here to vie for your vote. Come here to cry at the camps, no more at the shore for the bodies that float by the wreck of an immigrant boat. And then it's back to the luxury home, couple security booths and a moat, couple cigars, little escargot, little booze and a soak. And they just breathe in the steam and the smoke. They got pink salt, lavender, candles are low. Shit, when you do what you do, gotta lighten the load. And they got a life of their own that's a sight to behold. It's a lot to control, to decipher the chord or to siphon the soul. You see, the cost of a good night's sleep for the working elite is a bargain, no matter the toll. Worth any wager, and that comes straight from the mouth of the means to the goal that will swallow us whole. Right for the picking if you don't mind mold, and you know I don't. Maybe we're pleasantly prone, maybe we're taking a licking, compliantly ticking and ticking and ticking, but never explode. Now I don't deliver the prettiest image, but damn if it isn't an accurate vision. A fractal fission of rage at the system, an abject heartbreak patiently waiting for any who'll listen. See that little blue bird who is watching your words to federal carrier pigeon? That's a Langley first. It's a patient observer who hears what it wants and is trained for the worst. Oh, you got nothing to hide. They'll be the ones to decide that after they root through your purse, after they read all your texts, after they raid your apartment and confiscate all of its contents. Conjure up evidence out of the air on a wing and a prayer and malicious intelligence nonsense. Any presumption of innocence long since gone, right along with your comforts and constants. See, historically first they will come from the communists. So why in the fuck would I say I'm a communist? Well, it might be I love my community more than the monsters of opulence who are holding us hostage, who are vomiting promises. It might be I'm all done seeing our pensions and benefits harvested. Might be I'm all done watching the populace being disarmed in the guise of an armistice. Watching a woman collapse on the floor who will rise no more. She's wheeled out the door and you're next in line for the pharmacist. Shit, if you could get me to vote, it's a hard no confidence. But part of the charm of deception is politics wearing the mask of incompetence. See, it's all in the art of austerity, darling. It's all in the sleight of the providence. Till home is as wide as your cubicle height and it's only as deep as your coffin is. See, maybe I'm miles away from impatience, aching to break off the head of the snake where the capital lust, reptile brain, and marginal profit is. Like, off with his! Like, off with his. Guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to say when they told you everything was safe. You were safe.
Oh, that was fire, bro. That was really nice. You got that one cooking.
That was fun. I realized this a little ways into it. I was like, I went from playing the song really regularly to all of a sudden I haven't played it in a while. And I was like, I was actually really excited to play that again. So yeah.
We played that a few weeks ago, it feels like.
Big shout out to
great.
To the gang at Hardlands Media and Kit for playing that and Blocking the Light. Those been getting a bunch of plays either at the beginning or end, sometimes both, on a bunch of their shows. And so concurrently that airs on a public access station in Chicago too. So that's pretty cool that there's a little bit of my spoken word trickling its way into the inner cities. You know, I like that.
Well, and your little doobie doo. I know Sabby just started some new broadcast deal also. I don't know exactly what the story is with that. I'll have to find out more. But
oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think for the Boston market now, some stuff's going out there. So your little theme song for that. That is the most catchy damn thing. Doobie doo. It's the motherfucking Jesse Jett stream. Oh no, it's the Sabby Sab stream, right?
I loved when I was on with JB. The look on his face when he found out that I did that song was the best. That's like one of my favorite moments.
See, there's Reef. It's the motherfucking Sabby Sab stream. La-di-da-di-da. That's right. That's that. Every time we hear doobie doo, we hear la-di-da-di-da. And we just put that. We're gonna overlay that track. I don't know.
You should.
Reef has been.
You know, if you're gonna get sued, man, let's get sued going out with a bang.
Well, and Stoop wouldn't care, but he just wants his paper, you know. But
it's true.
But he's been playing these mashups where like you wouldn't expect these two songs that overlay and align and actually line up really well together. And
oh yeah.
And now it's starting to infect my Instagram feed. Like he's I don't know how he does it. He conditions my feed because all the devices listen, right? So when one of them hears what he's playing, they're like, "Oh, he likes that." Now they're gonna serve me more of that shit. It's algorithms suck, folks. Listen, always on listening algorithms. Turn off Facebook. Turn off all these always on listeners. They're creepy. Amazon.
I'm using the Yeti. I'm using the fancy
nice. Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm on. I'm on the Yeti. Yep. Well, we got to get you using the Camp David camera next. That's next. We got to get you an upgrade to use that thing.
Yeah.
Because I know the camera was crashing out the computer, so that's no bueno.
All right. What are we getting into next? Ooh, yes.
Oh,
this
yeah.
It's so funny. This is a really fun one to look back at because I remember putting this song out and thinking like, okay, better brace for some sass from some squad defenders. And like you still get your squad defenders, but the difference in people's perception of them now versus then, it's mind-blowing. So again, I got, a fair amount of backlash for this song when it came out.
Yes, we have keyboard /hashtag.
All right. Yeah. Little hashtag squad goals.
Fate demanded I be singer of a new ballad about the candidate you wanted, like a finger in your fruit salad, but were made to choke down. And never mind he didn't have supporters on the ground. Never mind a website that gave volunteers the runaround and a platform of policies that followed Biden's lead and didn't make a fucking sound. and then he takes the crown. Now that's ascension into power by immaculate election, cause no one really wanted it, and no one should have trusted it, but don't you try to question it, cause Joe's just not a fan of questions. But Joe's a fan of pointing fingers right in people's faces. Or if they're not in public spaces, Joe will try to point a finger everywhere I won't mention. Cause Joe's soul is molded and beholden more to power than the list of fucking speakers at the DNC convention, who gave us all a show of keeping AOC at bay, just so everyone could say they tried to censor her dissension. But if you still believe that these progressives we've elected give a shit if we're protected, there's a bridge I'd like to sell you in a parallel dimension. You see, they're just tech savvier with media relations, propagandist Instagram, and public obfuscation. They're better suited to assure you that they're here to have a conversation. Better suited to assure you they aren't actively supporting your eviction and your slide into starvation. Better suited to assure you they can tweet about your needs and offer hope and motivation while you drift into the weeds, cause they partnered with the moccasins and gators and the reeds. And they will damn sure get a portion of our meat. So, love me or leave me or mislead me to decrete. Honey, you don't want to hear it, so I'll try to say it sweet. The squad are not your buddies, they are simply more discreet. GOP will kill you on your feet. Dems and fake progressives do it in your sleep. Cause anyone can recognize a nation's needs and put it in a tweet. But coming from a leader in a seat of power really shows they know they're obsolete. Nah, GOP will kill you on your feet. Dems and fake progressives do it in your sleep. The squad are not your buddies, they are simply more discreet.
And that was hashtag squad goals.
That it is.
Squad goals, folks. I want to make him laugh and spit out his stuff because I do that too often.
That has happened.
I kill him right in the middle of taking a drink. I just say something. It's like, yep. That's what we do. I try to get it out his nose every time, and it only works at once in a while.
All right.
Okay.
So, final bit in the music portion of this evening. I got to bring up my sampler. Let me just check and make sure it's all queued up. Make sure my tech guy got this right. That's me. Not that you aren't my tech guy, but my in-house.
Music.
My in-house.
People still owe money. Oh, he can't hear me. He took out his earbuds. People still owe money. All right, yeah.
All right.
We do need. I was saying, people still owe money.
Oh. Yeah, and it's boy, what can we say here? Just they really got to Franco. You know, they really got to Franco. This song just hits a little differently.
People still owe money. I was literally just saying that.
Yep.
People still owe money. What about the 10%? That's right. You need to just replace it with Colin. What about the 10%?
I actually I got a hold of Jose after the fantastic calling out of the, you know, all the newspaper editors,
right?
The big one.
That was great.
And I asked him, I was like, would you mind if I sampled a moment out of that? And he was kind enough to send me the actual audio file, so I will be able to do so. But specifically they shouldn't be in prison. They shouldn't be in prison for speaking out against this war. And then when he gets tackled, he goes, God damn it! And I was like, I have to have that. I've got to use that, please.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, right to their faces. Just.
Yep, I know.
Like you guys, like you cover news, right? Like you know who Seymour Hersh is, right? Like he did work for one of your newspapers, didn't he? He's just right in their faces, and it's just delicious. The whole thing. Yep, and he's the super agitator. We love Jose Vega. Shout out to Jose. He was on with Tara Reid recently. He was on INN News recently. So we've, once in a while, we've definitely been seeing him on INN. He did some disrupting with Lucy, I know, recently. And he was talking about going to Corona.
There's the name of a show right there, Disrupting with Lucy.
Oh, boy.
You know, some people are made to organize and some people are made to agitate, and we need both of them equally.
And virtue signaling with the squad is another one. Yes.
Or a secret third thing, like virtue signaling. Oh. Man, this has been a hot second. All right, let's get it. Love Your Prison, folks. From the album War Crime Jams to Pork 2. Oh, God.
It looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Who knew that freedom's such a difficult decision? I bet you finally feel like you're home. Home. Right in the center where the halves meet. You were proud of incremental half speeds. You were getting down in the AOC dance line, hands tied, nodding to the backbeat. You would Secret Service dive in front of any representative alive, being asked for the very bare minimum. Then you'll turn into that same kind of hard right villain you've detested should we mention they could ever muster maximum. Because your liberal denial's such a lofty ataraxia, where all the morals take a backseat, not up in the cab, but in hidden panels made by federal human traffickers. If you trust the autopilot, then you're just a sleeping passenger, and you're passively accepting that it isn't us the bastards serve. You're making peace with all the evil walking on this rancid earth, seeking unity with those who bound your hands at birth, then glancing up at fascists on a bloody day is thinking they just need a push. God, I'm not a holy man, but I am praying for a burning bush. Yeah, I know you'd love to look away, but love, you need to look. See, there are many massacres this country manufactured that will never make the books. Now here's your fucking hook. It looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Who knew that freedom's such a difficult decision? I bet you finally feel like you're home. Home on the range of excuses, justify some fracking, water down pollution, paint a fresh coat of bipartisan charm over backroom collusion. Your consent is being manufactured by illusions, marketing executives in federal seclusion, working day and night to keep you just the side of lucid, and to beat down for calling out abuses. So fuck all these progressives who could speak on revolution once they've emptied all your powder out and spit on all your fuses. I prefer to judge a leader not by quality of tweets, but the six-figure book deals she chooses. All the donors he betrays, and donors he would gladly take a bullet before he refuses. All the slogans he reuses, buzzwords he produces that he spews like mucus. Well, two can play at that. So here's the inner dialogue of every time I snap, and it's been fine-tuned to ruthless, saying politics are useless. It's just a bunch of loose lips tweeting cute shit, power suits, taxpayer booze trips, and a bunker at the ready when the shoe flips. And there will be no news clips. There will just be looks to me as though you learned to love your prison. I guess you'd say you made it your own. Who knew that freedom's such a difficult decision? I bet you finally feel like you're home. Home. Let's love your prison.
That's Love Your Prison. You know I've been doing this a while when like I can actually sing most of the words into it and not stumble nearly as much, especially when it gets fast. Like, dude, this guy, so many bars. Just
not that I'm biased, but I feel like whenever we do the American Tradition open karaoke mic night, that you're gonna be gold medal. That's just what I'm. That's something tells me.
Well. Yeah, but we're going to put the words up for everyone to read. But yeah, I mean, the intonations, I'm going to have like the ups and the downs and like right where you break and all that's like, I'm going to have that down. Yeah, because earworms just pumped right into my head all the time. So are we going to do American Tradition as a song or as a spoken word tonight?
As a spoken word.
Nice.
Yeah, I've never done it as spoken word. And I really feel like that's one that deserves to.
All right, well,
we're going to actually kick off.
I have Bandcamp up, so I can bring up lyrics if they're in Bandcamp.
Okay, nice. Yeah. What do you want to start with? It's 10:40. Oh, nice. Okay. Let's kick it off with $half, which is the last one on Grift Home Companion.
Nice.
I recently got my hands on a copy of State and Revolution, and I've never read this before. I knew that obviously the idea. Yeah, right. He's like, "What, Lenin? Are we reading Lenin?
Wait,
are we reading? He's like, Revolution,
Revolution, Catstrap,
Revolution.
Oh, holy shit, that was insane.
I don't know if you can tell. I'm repping.
Nice, you got the merch. Nice. INNmerch. What is it? It's INNmerch.com. You can go there and we got a store. You can get some.
So I start reading it, and literally the first page, the first paragraph of this book, he makes the point I spent 5 minutes trying to make in $half. And he hits it on the head so perfectly that I was just floored by it. I reread it a couple times. I'm like, God damn! Like it really. Obviously, I knew I wasn't the first person to look at how we change someone's opinions about this country after they pass, especially after we initiate their passing or nudge their passing along, however you want to look at it. So I started reading this, and I'm going to read this line because this hit me in the fucking face, because I was like, oh my God, that's what I was trying to say in $half. Like, God damn, this is so good. During the lifetime of great revolutionaries, the oppressing classes have visited relentless persecution on them and received their teaching with the most savage hostility, the most furious hatred, the most ruthless campaign of lies and slanders. After their death, attempts are made to turn them into harmless icons, canonize them, and surround their names with a certain halo for the consolation of the oppressed classes, and with the object of duping them, while at the same time emasculating and vulgarizing the real essence of their revolutionary theories and blunting their revolutionary edge. Jesus Christ. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, oh man, that's how you say it. That's how you get your point.
And that was like, more than a century ago.
Man. Like, I'm glad I didn't read that before $half, because I would have felt like $half was too, I would have been the whole time making sure I didn't step on the toes of that. But like, God damn. I seriously, I read that and reread it a couple times. I'm like, oh man, I'm never going to look at $half now without thinking about that opening bit. Like, so great. What do you think,
Fuck
Stro?
the anti-theory bros. Lenin is based. Oh, crap. You're so funny.
Castro, what do you think?
Yeah. He's down. He said revolution. He's now talking up a storm.
He did. He really did.
All right. I have check this out. We have a new view. Hey, check that out, everyone. Oh, that looks pretty.
All right. $50. Yeah, and this, very, very rarely does an event in like my life, my little sphere, make its way, like trigger up a whole piece. But I really did. I'm told this story before, but I was cleaning out a dresser. Actually, the dresser over there that Tara's book is on, and I found a couple $50 among a few other coins. I was just thinking how funny it is that we put Kennedy on a coin, especially not just his full body, just his head. I was like, oof. And I'll never look at it the same, And then I started thinking about it and kept thinking about it, and then out came $50.
Well, they also put Lincoln's head on a penny, so
that's true. I'm beginning to see a trend here.
Is there a pattern? And then you got Ben Franklin and Andrew. Which one? Mm-hmm. Johnson? No, Alexander Jackson. Hamilton. No, there were two. Yeah, but no, it was Franklin and Hamilton.
Yep.
Were not presidents. So you got two guys that were shot in the head and two guys that weren't even president on your money, and then you got George, right?
Awfully suspicious.
It is really
all right.
Our country's so fucked up.
We just stumbled on the plot of
our
National Treasure
so
3 is what just happened.
I love it. Shit.
We've got to find this map. that was my Nick Cage. Okay,
let's go find some rockets.
Oh shit. So I love that I went from segue from Lenin into $50 to Lenin, little Nick Cage detour into $50. I'd like to think by now that's what the average American tradition viewer has come to expect. We take jaunty little side paths sometimes. We get where we're going in the end, but it's not without some Nick Cage impressions along the way. So
only Jesse Jett, folks.
If you aren't here for some occasional Wilford Brimley humor, this isn't the place for you. And for those of you that are here, we love you and appreciate you more than words can ever
absolutely
express. All right, $50. Here we go. I found $50 in a dresser drawer. The dresser drawer? Cut! Start it again. I found $50 in a dresser drawer. And I spent the time I would have spent just staring at the floor, staring down at JFK, trying to imagine the immoral sort of irony that makes a nation feign commemoration of a man that it had murdered by the CIA. Trying to envision us if we possessed the health care he had talked about in '58. I guess the takeaway is it's a piece of fucking cake to celebrate somebody's bravery once you've assured they're safely in the grave. And I bet if Pat Tillman were alive today that he would say the same. I'm sure we're in for more if we let Julian decay. I bet that they would put him on a quarter. I bet that they would name conference rooms in his honor at the IMF, the New York Times, the FBI, and Citibank. I guess the takeaway is it's a no-risk softball pitch to uplift somebody's image once their image is the one thing that remains. And the worst is when it's coming from a figurehead who's funding every agency that authored the remains and working with the agency that doctored the remains, the agency that obfuscates the facts and spins a constant storm of shifting blame. I guess the takeaway is that America will sing your praises loud as day to celebrate the fact you and the threat you posed have passed away. Shit, they'll throw you a parade, and business just as usual will live another day. And all of the insurance gods will bathe in all the praise and make donations rain. And all their winged, wicked little lobbyists will blow their horns and light the flames. Their ceremony starts, and they in single column march up to the weathered onyx arch and sand the marker down that bears your name. So you no longer are and never were until your hideous rebirth within the corporate frame.
until you're back from the dead and then bound for all eternity in propaganda's chains. It's the very ritual that whittled down the legacy of Martin Luther King into a parable on unity for liberals to claim. And then once they learned it worked, the world would never be the same. And now it's getting worse. I guess they're dialing in their aim. History is a straight line, but so's a moving train, which is heavily dependent on our infrastructure grade. We are building back better in a nation built on slaves, so you can guess the ultimate direction that our pathway to the future paves. They don't want you living, or they'd offer you a living wage. They don't want you feeding any homeless. It's just best to leave them freezing in the alleyway. They don't want you speaking words of hope unto the hopeless, or they'll do you up like JFK. I found $50 in my dresser, and I spent the rest of my whole day depressed because this constant drop in pressure means that you can catch the bends from simply sitting up in bed awake. It looks like 2022 is really not the year for you to have your lives improved. I guess you'll have to wait. But not to fret, election season's just around the bend. Why don't you go ahead and save the date, so you can throw yourself before the magistrate and beg to have your family saved? You don't know the people you elect to lead you more than what their ad portrays. You can't tell their offerings of saccharin and arsenic from ordinary aspartame. And you can't really comprehend the kind of greed this country feeds upon until you're Jackie-O, wearing close to half a brain. And probably the half that would have seen us passing M4A. All to keep the pieces in their places in this never-ending profit game. All to weave a tapestry of ampersands. Each allows a claim adjuster room to just dismiss you with a callous hand like fuck you and your meds. Fuck you for requesting a procedure that you need so you can stand. Fuck you and your family and your poor demands. So welcome to the land where we'll assassinate a man and then put him on a $50 stadium or stamp and proclaim ourselves the greatest country ever master planned, killing off its citizens, enriching all its brands. It's $50.
Yeah, put him on a school.
Mm-hmm.
Put him on an everything. Damn, dude. That is. Yeah, I could see being depressed after staring at $50 for the after that.
Fucking there are some pieces that like I feel like I could do like the proverbial mic drop. This is like a throw the mic against the wall. Like,
Yeah, just
I feel
smash
like
it.
if I had the opportunity to read that out somewhere, I would get done and fucking break the mic over my knees.
Or drop it in a
One
pitcher
of
of
those
water.
pieces by the end, I just want to like bust it upside my head and just walk off like Andre the Giant. Like, goddamn. Man.
That is some shit right there. All right. V.S. Adams doing lots of clapping, and it doesn't show up the right way on this thing. We got to get a different chat displayer. Twidget is slipping. Not crazy about the restream chat, but we can put that up. Restream chat window. There you go. Subway's new sandwich, the Kennedy Bay of Pigs with a side of marinara. Holy crap. Oh. Jesus Christ.
Just splattering
Reef.
there, if you will.
Oh, Reef.
Man.
Poetry. Just
Hoo-ah.
poetry. Okay.
You got me Crocs. I love them. Oh, I do wear them with suits. You're right.
We were actually watching a documentary or something about Idiocracy and about the making of Idiocracy. Speaking of Crocs, and someone in the wardrobe department was talking about like we want to make them all wear like a universal shoe, and someone actually said something about like, but what if these things end up being like popular and it turns out they were Crocs?
Yeah, they picked them to just be like the ugliest shoe they could imagine to have everyone wear, and then boom!
Sure enough.
So
Don't
great.
tell me that it sucks. We're gonna make it suck even worse. But those closed-toed ones are not too bad, from what I hear. You know, it's the ones that have the holes all through them. I just never owned a pair of Crocs. I don't think I put one on my feet. Everybody says they're comfy. Nurses swear by them. So shout out to nurses who wear Crocs. God bless you.
All right.
We were having a conversation about this.
I don't want to go too far overboard tonight, so we will have to do a part 3 because there's just too many other pieces. And some, like, I want to do Speaker of the House with my Nancy Pelosi cues and stuff. So tonight I will let you guys pick which one I do next. The one you don't pick will get kicked to the next episode. Tonight, do you want Shepherd Hopes or do you want Hello Somebody? Bernie or Nina? Who we cooking?
I'm cooking Bernie personally because
That's one for Bernie.
He reintroduced Medicare for all and the $17 an hour wage. It's certainly election season, and he's turning into gaslighting bullshit Bernie again real quick. So I personally would be a big fan of Shepherd of Hopes. I am asking for your Shepherd of Hopes. I am solemnly asking.
It is unconscionable.
Humbly, solemnly asking for Shepherd of Hopes.
Oh, fuck. All right. Let's do it. Let's roast him. It's Bernie time. Shout out to Lucy, because had she not been like, hey, I'm going to do a Bernie episode today about the Bernie 24 shit, do you feel like you could write something about that? Yeah, let's see. And then Shepherd Hopes came ripping out of me like a projectile vomit of a poem. And yeah, and I wouldn't have written that had it not been prompted. So it's all thanks to Lucy.
Shepherd of Hopes.
If you fool me once, it's because I didn't think a guard was needed. And if you fool me twice, it's because I didn't learn the lesson, so it bears repeating. And if you try the same play 3 times running, it's because you know what's coming, and you didn't come to lead. You came to purposefully be misleading. Democracy is dry. It's been a century bleeding. The husk is gaping open to the sky, out in the field where all the sheep just keep on circling and worrying and bleeding. They're waiting for the shepherd that they've tried to hide their faith in, but he's so appealing. They'd gladly give their fleece. It's such a freeing feeling that even when he leads them to the ledge and starts to urge them on, they're positively beaming. They were told that they were on their way to save democracy, so even as they plummet, they just glow. They don't consider screaming. And halfway up the cliff, the shepherd's cozy little mittens wrap around the staff of shattered human hopes on which he's leaning. He shows the gentle grin that used to stir your inner spark, and he says, not me, us, as he gestures to the oligarchs. He knows that if he runs, they're going to stop him like a stolen car. And he'll easily surrender because it bought a lot of time for laying mines in all the grassroots. Suddenly, the tiniest of movements gets you blown apart. Suddenly, you're in a play that's set on an election day and voting for the fire, unaware you're playing Joan of Arc. Suddenly, the shepherd pulls the rug and slips a hood across your clueless mug, and everything goes zero dark. I'm gonna warn you once more before it's 2024 and you fuck around and find out who your heroes are. Take a step back from the herd and you'll learn that you can spot who all the shearers are. If you really want to know the product that they're selling, I can take you where the mirrors are. If you think your voice is finally ready, I can tell you where the lyrics are. I hid them in a box I had to bury neath the cobble when they carpet bombed the promenade and raided all the street bazaars. Now all we've got's the marketplace, and you're too broke to even bother asking what the options for your treatment are. Suddenly, the raw debris of homeless human dignity will find it has 100 teeth for every badge and sweeper's arm. Suddenly, they speak in solidarity, and each is armed. Suddenly, the sheep can see the shepherd for his truest form, and all pitch in at once to help him buy the farm. Now it's zero dark, and all is calm and peaceful, save the distant wail of sirens that approach beside the flames of dawn. Suddenly, the carrot's just a string that's on a stick, and all your movements make you sick because the prize is gone. Now, we could go and flee into the forest low and meek, or we can exercise our right to feast and go and graze on Biden's lawn.
because he's been sowing seeds that seep a toxin out to sap a bit from each of us and keep on leeching decades after Biden's gone. So regardless who they summon out of hell to come and do the job, it will not feel like Biden's gone. But in that time of hopelessness, you cannot trust the shepherd when he once again comes asking you to humor him his siren song. And it's cute that you can innocently, honestly assume that's just a symptom of a system that was wired wrong and not the standard feature, basic function, primary objective of a mass hypnosis firebomb. You don't need to know the words to cry along. Someday it'll hit you like an officer who pistol whipped his ride along. Broke their jaw, kept his job, and kept it moving right along. That voting isn't red or blue, or black or white, or right or wrong. Voting's like a firing squad where you can choose the firearm. It's slow extinction by and large. It's Super Tuesday supercharged. It's all your futures, roots and all, just tossed out on a garbage barge. It's everybody dropping out to push the biggest oligarch. It's everybody voting fire, registered as Joan of Arc. Shepherd hopes. Bernie 24, y'all.
Bernie 2020. You know what? We could replace that with Marianne 2024.
I almost just did a spit take all over the whole rig here.
All right. And especially, I'm reading the line, and right, the sheep can no, that's not the one. There was a line. I was like, oh my god, that's completely them. Throwing the seeds that seep a toxin out, East Palestine. Oh my god, like that was insane, right? And he's asking you to humor him his siren song. I would once again like to have you vote for my good friend Joe. So we got that, and then sheesh, I lost where it was, but it perfectly described the people that are propping up, and it was like I'm gonna warn you once more before it's 24 and you fuck around and find out who your heroes are. And this is what I said: take a step back from the herd, and you can spot who all the shearers are. Wow, there's like a whole bunch of independent, quote unquote, independent media that I would put in that category. Maybe some people that attended a wedding a couple of weeks ago, I would definitely put in that category. So, all right, Carrie Ann Kilmanson. Kilmanson. Oh god. That's really funny. That's it. That's it, Anthony. Brad. We got a himbo in the house. Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran. No, I don't think it's Ed Sheeran.
Look at this guy.
You can spot who the shearers are. No, it's Bree and Crystal. Those are the shearers.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Hey guys. Come on, guys. Grow up, guys. Just grow up.
Hi, fella. What you doing? Tell me all about it.
Oh,
Tell
kitty.
me. Tell me. Say something.
No? Jesse talks to cats.
No, of course now he's quiet. Because why wouldn't he be?
Castro.
Are you gonna stay quiet? You sure? Okay.
Dude, don't knock over the computer, bro.
Or the candles. There's a lot of hazards down here. It's the House of Dangers. Okay.
Great.
If you will direct your Bandcampery to Coming of Spring, either one. Lyrics, or you know what? Lyrics might not be on the original. I think it's only on Perennial. So.
Okay, I got Perennial up.
You're gonna need your Perennial edition for this one. It's got the correct lyrics. Didn't come in the standard edition. You gotta get the special edition.
Gotta get the special edition. Okay.
It was only on the Japan exports. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we're gonna get into some Bomb Squad.
Nice.
And then Autopilot right after. So yeah, we got a couple Perennials.
Actually have that in a document, Bomb Squad somewhere, but that's all right. We can we can rock it from here.
Oh, now you're talking. I see. Now you got meows, huh? Now you got something to say.
See? Right,
Fucking
meow.
guy. I swear.
Come on, Fidel. Right, meow.
Oh, now we found a ball. This cat will play fetch. Like if I throw a ball across this room, he will haul ass over there and get like he's bananas. Banana sandwich. Don't eat that. My God.
All right, we got
plastic. Anything hard
up.
plastic he can chew on. It's ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
We have fun here.
All right. You ready?
Hit off the apple. And that is not the Apple II, the Apple Model 3 slave collar.
All right, let's do this. Sick of the lie, and I mean the big lie. Sick of the talk and sick of the sight. Let it be said, I was a lyrical blade at the neck of the right. I was a lyrical needle that entered the temple and opened the mind. Interim Lord of the Flies. Erecting a hall to the dead in a culture of trauma survivors who struggle each day to survive. Held under pressure by suited oppressors who peddle in blame with a little bit of victim shame on the side. You can't quite measure the spite each day when you find that you've opened your eyes. In a nation refusing to honor the worth of your life. In a nation refusing to lessen the wealth of a handful to wash off the stains of our poverty lines. But they're happy to tweet on the issues and pat themselves all on the back for the bill they designed, with zero intention to sign, but all too content to soak up all the media shine. Like a bomb squad only reporting to find the device and state that they found the device, watch the device, publicly shame and denounce the device, tweet every day on the risk that could rise, then land on the cover of Vogue for their fearlessness, power, and style while facing that awful device. And behind closed doors, they can laugh with that awful device. They can shake hands with that very device that eats millions of struggling Americans' lives. And one day, when it blows sky high, they can wring all their hands at the toolkit sitting nearby with a manual walking them through the disarming and proper disposal, and all point fingers and all place blame over why it had never been tried. But if all of us hostages had those tools, we would not think twice. Instead, we were left in the dark with our hands all tied. They bring a few ball gags once in a while, and we open our mouths, and we don't ask why. A few don't mind. A few start cheering the silence who view it as some kind of positive sign. And a few shout prayers to a squad that had sworn they were here to help, and they were on our side. And then suddenly, we could hear vehicles come up the drive. We saw the flashing of lights. We thought that help had arrived, only to find there was a media frenzy to see AOC wear her hair to the side. And Kamala Harris was not in attendance, but she set her shoes in a bulletproof limo with heavy security detail that all of our taxes were gracious enough to provide. And along with her warmest regards, she sent a surprise. A shipment of muzzles and gags, and all of them signed, "Cheer for your squad, or shut up and bite. President Harris." That's what I'll read through the tears in my eyes while I'm opening wide. Accepting my penance for daring to warn that the squad will be cutting your heat in the night before they take a blade to those wires. And our only hope to dismantle their precious device is in snipping the red and the blue, because they're fully entwined. To cut out the red and the blue in our minds wherever we find. So here's to combining our hands and cutting the line. Here's to denying the motor the oil it needs to be primed. Here's to a wrench in the gears of your capital, hearing it grind. Here's to the feeling of loosing your collar and breaking your binds. Here's to the bliss of forgetting your number and knowing it's fine. Knowing your name. Living your life for a purpose beyond someone's profits, of which your retirement warrants a hollow farewell, an equivalent gift of a dime. Here's to the bliss of us cutting the line. Like President Harris, I'm biding my time. Here's to the promise of breaking our binds.
Bro, you just made me cringe.
Anthony,
don't do that. Don't do that.
Anthony, I'm really sorry. I look down in the chat and I see him say, "Please never say President Harris again." And
He
the
just triggered
next
me.
line is literally the second time I say President. I said it again. I'm sorry.
No.
I keep saying it.
No. I'm with you, Anthony, bro. I could never.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Oh god, I actually have that Adam Sandler. I bought that on CD, and I have that in my iTunes. What is it? It's like guy getting beat up at recess. Like that's one.
No.
Yeah, they're all gonna laugh at you. That's very, very funny. Like, not many people have that album, but I do. That's hilarious. Yes, I am now traumatized and triggered to even hear those words too. But also hearing the thing about AOC and the shot with AOC, all right? With a media frenzy to see AOC wear her hair to the side and Kamala Harris was not in attendance, right? That's Jordan Neely's funeral.
That still happens. That shit still happens. Yep.
Like it was literally this week, okay? That people were taking selfies with AOC at the funeral, and it was gross. And Kamala, of course, wasn't there because do not come. Do not come.
When I decided I wanted to re-record Coming of Spring, just because I wasn't happy with the audio on the first one. I was kind of in transition period. My original mic setup wasn't working. I was trying something new, and I always listened to that, and like I didn't like the takes. I always felt like I could do better. And then when I went to re-record it, I realized like the pieces not only still hold up, unfortunately, but some of them are so different. So many of the Elon Musk ones, that was pre him taking over Twitter, and it's just such a different world, unfortunately, down the same horrible path. And I realized like I honestly could record this every 2 years and the pieces would probably hit a little bit differently. Like I could just keep doing perennial editions if I wanted to. And they would probably like keep, they would, I imagine periodically going back to these pieces. Like it reminds me when I first started writing these songs, my brother, who did the cover for The Virus and Inauguration Gift, he listened to the first couple songs and he was like, have you thought about changing some of the names? I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you talk about like Joe Biden and you talk about Bernie Sanders, and like, won't that kind of set the songs at a certain point in time that they'll all of a sudden, like, people will listen to it down the road and it'll just be about politicians that, came and went. And like, I got that. You could make it more universal for sure. But I felt like that's what I wanted to do, was be that direct and talk about people by name and their shitty specific voting records. And if people know, they know. And if they don't, that's fine. If they want to look it up, cool. I felt like it's so much more important. There are plenty of people that make just kind of vague, politicians suck. What are these banks doing? I sure hate these wars. But like after a while, it rings kind of hollow if you aren't willing to talk about anything specific. And I felt like early on, I was like, I'd rather this be tied to a moment in time and be more of a time capsule of a political era than just universally applicable politics kind of music. So, but yeah, boy, coming back to the squad pieces, especially, like, I wish it didn't still all apply the way it does, but some of them, especially the Kamala shit and talking about President Harris, like it makes my skin crawl more now than it did when I wrote it, for sure.
Dude, and also Mayo Pete, I was just watching just this week, Wired magazine did some kind of a puff piece about Mayo Pete, and man, it is such puffery, such fluffery, and they were talking about how the Secretary of Transportation job, it only takes up a small portion of his mind space, and he thinks in Norwegian, and it was like, oh my God, they're completely bought in, and there is an entire group And there's a large group of them because they've been propagandized into believing that this guy is actually like good and here to help.
Oh,
Rattigan.
Oh, Rattigan.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Literally about a rat face.
Right. I know. Is that a part 3, Stro? What do you think? Is that for Greatest Hits part 3? Probably.
No, he's not part Norwegian. He just speaks Norwegian, which is even worse. Brad. That was one of the things. Like, he speaks 9 languages, including Norwegian. Yeah, well,
if I can remember those chords again,
so that he could tell them how to blow up Nord Stream. Is that why? Maybe. He's the link. Now we got it. It wasn't 6 Ukrainians in a boat on a yacht. It was Mayo Pete giving instructions.
Okay, I think we can Rattigan, right? Let's see. Yeah, why not? Let's hop over to Rattigan real quick. Sorry. Chicka chicka. Day bow bow. Going back to the virus. Oh, so my weed guy had a great idea today. I wore this tank top over to see him, and as I was turning to leave, he saw the Grift album cover and he started cracking up. And he was like, "Have you done like an official follow up to that record?" I was like, "I mean, I've done records since then, but not like a part 2 musically. Why?" He was like, "If you do, can you call it Grifters Gone Wild?" I was like, I might have to now. And I will credit the hell out of you for that. The Grift Part 2, Grifters Gone Wild. I can't get over that.
Well, then you think back to those late night commercials with the music like the "Hey everybody, check out Girls Gone Wild." Yep. Like, that's great. Thank you, Cynic, for putting the tracks in there.
I don't know if anyone remembers the film The Great Mouse Detective back in the day, but that was one of my favorites when I was little, and one of my son's favorites now because I forced it on him, but then he enjoyed it. So yeah, this the bad guy in that, his name is Rattigan. He is, as you can imagine, a rat, and I had a couple people, Cynic being one of them, who made some great Pete Buttigieg as Rattigan Photoshop efforts that are both in the little video on my channel for Rattigan from when it first came out. See, Brad knows what's up. Yes, it was. So yeah, off of the virus, this is Rattigan.
I don't need to say it all myself, 'cause now you can see it. I don't want to say that I lost myself, 'cause I didn't need it. Whoever I was when it started, I think that they'll stay in the past. And if that's all that I've lost when it's over, I'll be happy with that.
See, I don't have the inflection for commercial rap appeal, and I'm a little too subversive to be verified. Now if someday I can reach 10K, I'll retract it, I'll admit it, and I'll clarify. But in the meantime, I'll be underground now, where the air's beyond rarefied. Honestly, it's barely there, and honestly, it's paradise. I don't have a label that can tell me how my lyrics aren't conducive to the royalties of parasites. I'm just one man in an 05 GMC with an iPhone 8 and a low-end mic trying to take down the DNC. I stay up late and then go into a rage and record all night. Wake the next day like, damn, that's me. So trust me when I tell you that your fury will articulate the things you're afraid to believe. You can tell because I shake when I speak. There's anger in the air we breathe, and it's been liberally applied like the label of progressive, slapped on every neoliberal spamming you their message, slapped on every Buttigieg who tells you cozy up to your oppressors. Oh, pardon me if I don't trust a word out of Rattigan the Lesser. Don't shut your eyes, love. The more you know, the better. The worse you see, the sweeter. A peaceful revolution doesn't really fill a theater. A flint will start a fire, and flint water douses it. But if you think it's safe to drink, you must have skipped the Kool-Aid and gone for the ether. Cause I think you're fucking dreaming. Are you? No? Good. Me either.
I wanna say it all myself. Now you can see it. I don't wanna say that I lost myself, cause I didn't need it. Whoever I was when this started, I think that they'll stay in the past. And if that's all that I've lost when it's over, I'll be happy with that. Happy with that.
Mirror rat fuck McCheat face. Okay, that's officially the new subtitle to this song. Rattigan, Mirror rat fuck McCheat face. In parentheses. Oh my god, I love that so much. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled autopilot. We got 2 more spoken word pieces, folks, and then we are out of here for the night. Hopping back over to the old perennial edition.
What am I getting?
Autopilot.
Autopilot. The Liberals Lament. Okay, so let me go back to Jaja. That's there, and then we do that. What is that thing back up behind Jesse in that top corner?
What? What's behind me?
No, in the top corner on. Oh, it's actually Bandcamp. I'm like, what is that star corner thing? It's actually a corner of Perennial Edition. It's the bottom left corner of the album cover. That's actually behind you. That kind of works. Looks good. Slaps.
There you go. Look at us. Okay. Yeah. Autopilot. The Liberals Lament. Now, this might just be the last song before I'm silent. Kamikaze Autopilot. Awful lot of hate in my heart and a propensity for kindness. Adrift in an ocean of centrists and all of the rest of the otherwise eyeless. And I know the instinct to lower one's gaze in the hope of escape is ancestral and timeless. But you need to know that the binds that detain us in no way define us. May everywhere you lay your feet be the battleground. Anywhere you keep the fight in your heart, honey, that's where the fight is. The force of our will is worth more than their might is. The cold touch of steel is worth more than the touch of the Midas. And they can dig canyons or craters or gulfs, but they cannot divide us. We are the poor and the huddled, forever denied until forced into violence. But quell your excitement. The dark mass of clouds seen amassing for war on your placid horizon are born of the toxins of white men, who see themselves more as the gods moving mountains and speaking in lightning than actual human devices. Manifest destiny, narcissist energy, war pigs in crisis.
And endlessly each will keep funding their own little personal ISIS. Each will keep feeding delusions of grandeur and masculine righteousness. Each will pour gas on our hopes and then strike up the match of divisiveness and broadcast it right in our homes and our phones. And the service is free, because for them to see all of that poison take hold is elite level pricelessness. Timeless as oligarchs feeding you mindlessness. So write this as one of those times that I suddenly wished I was sightless, as I listen lifeless to liberals praising our brightest defenders of Western invasion, praising the people defending a flag that has flown over craters of peaceful and sovereign nations bombed off the face of creation. And all to spread something that we call democracy, mockingly, probably. Honestly, we come to starve out your colonies, clear out your properties, claim your resources, and set up a government covered in puppet string, tied to our global agenda and ripe for the summoning. This is how we keep policing the desperate, knowing we foster their suffering. This is the mark of the beast of America. Pull yourself out of the gutter by only the straps of your debt, sharpen your hustle, and build you some character. Break down your body to enter the lottery. Set your sights right on the luxe, comfy life of a senator, something that's really worth coveting. Because down in the streets, it's a storefront morgue. The sheets are boards, and they reek through the coverings. And I'm not saying the sky is falling. I am screaming the heavens are plummeting. Came for the catalyst, stayed for the dread, and that hideous trumpeting. I came for a glimpse of the spirit of war, covered in gore and speaking in gluttonies. A chorus at once both familiar and otherly, shatter my solace while soothing me motherly, mindlessly touch. I'm a hyacinth crumbling under the dirt to the earth, to the worst of discoveries. I came for the cavernous, hideous trumpeting. Then I stayed until I didn't mind. Then stayed until I found it comforting. I stayed till the gore was a medal of valor, and all of the war crimes were human and humbling. Stayed until I was defending the caging of children and calling dementia stuttering. I stayed until I was a big fan of access and cautiously skeptic when asked if our health care was something our government ought to be covering. Till I was completely complicit in whitewashing immigrant sterilization, refugee separations. I'd stayed until I swore that I still saw justice in all of this bigoted bludgeoning. Not just eugenics parading as something communal in service and properly functioning. Not just eugenics you passively swallow like Xanax when pitched by your favorite brands and your most trusted companies. Not us insisting that progress is Congress collectively stumbling. Not just the Democrats holding the Senate, the House, and the ball and intentionally fumbling. Not just our leadership throwing the fight when it's not their lives on the line, it's our kids on the mat and they're taking a pummeling. Because the hearts of the greedy weep not for the needy. They just pump funds for their own refunneling. They burrow in their wealth like a corpse worm, tunneling, stomach full of money, but they'll never see the sun again. It's really kind of funny when you think about it. Then again, it's really so abhorrent, I'm on stun again. Mouth agape, my eyes glaze. The drool is positively puddling. The taste of dirt is fresh and newly earthen on my tongue again. And I am running through a meadow from the truth of who I voted for. And God, the sun is shining, but the thunderstorms are rumbling. Built back better, didn't stay to see it tumbling.
That is a liberal's lament for sure. Just so
all right, and
powerful.
last but not least,
Nice.
let's kick it over to inauguration gift one more time. For the old roll credits, American Tradition.
Yes.
Shout out to Lyrical, who if you don't follow him on Twitter, please do. He makes a very exhaustively researched podcast about political music, and he has been gracious enough to feature me in several episodes. It's actually a sample of him talking about this song that is used at the beginning of Apple Model 3 Slave Collar. The our society and our world are made up of these built up and imagined facades. The brilliant, powerful hammer part, that's the guy from Lyrical. And he did an episode where I was like featured artist, and he played several songs. And after this piece, he quoted a line from it. And for some reason, it was like the most emotional thing. It felt like I was hearing some like career retrospective at like the end of my life or something. It was like, it really felt like here's someone who has heard a lot of political music and felt like this was someone that didn't just like it, but like got it. Like this is one of those people that gets it, and a bunch of you guys are that way. Which again, it means so much. Like the people that really get it are worth like 10,000 fans if I was just making music that didn't, wasn't this fucking important to me. So anyways, every time I think of this piece, I gotta give props to Lyrical for featuring it, because this was just a song I liked. And then after that episode of his podcast, every time I hear it now, I think about that. And like, there have been a couple times where I kind of needed to be reminded of why I'm doing this and needed to like kind of motivate and jumpstart myself. And that's one I've come back to a few times for that purpose. So
it's a brilliant, powerful hammer.
All right.
He's great.
This is American Tradition.
All right, hang on. Let me go to the presenter mode so they can see the lyrics.
Yeah, look at that. All right. Although he's not the slickest vulture to have ever picked a carcass, he's just the kind to catch us at our darkest for an easy harvest. He's just the kind to serve us to the markets, who will see you lose your home before his donors let him bargain, who will give a cop the go-ahead to shoot you in the leg before they let you harm a target. And being an American, I love watching garbage, but it's overload. And this is not my first rodeo. I don't drop mics, but I choke slam podiums. And so we go. A little bit of Troy, a little Roanoke. Karma, come and hold me close. Tell me how you told me so. I'm overboard. I'm blowing out. I'm Holy Ghost in stolen shroud, soaked in old petroleum and calling down the rolling clouds. I slowly moved my mouth and formed the only sound I knew, and it was always out of tune, but it's the ugly fucking truth, and now it's flowing out. Break the banks, flood the basin. I transcribed a translation, spoke it out of Morse code, and straight into capsaicin. And I hope it suits your station, 'cause it's my last release that won't require proof of vaccination. I got all my rates adjusted for infection and inflation, bloating and decay, and all the perks of radiation. We see the virus for the profits, not the patients. Honey, look at all the records set for all these corporations. When COVID started spreading, they were just the side of celebration. They got one record quarter in the bag, and now they're all impatient. They'd rather have a toe to tag than see a mouth to feed, or worse, a kid in need of education. And honey, only money's making that distinction. They're gonna thin the herd straight through starvation to the brink of our extinction. Capitalism favors innovation, and it is never at a loss for ways to make us hate our liberation and cloud our vision. Somewhere in America, a man with no money in the bank is on his way to City Hall to go complain about proposals for a soup kitchen. And he'll never see the tiny bit of irony that floats in all the tragedy of his position. And he's not the only one. It's an American tradition. And so it goes, in endless perpetuity. We've never deviated from the mission. I sat out the ritual. I listened from the sand, held my head between my hands, and muttered, dying would be easy. Life's an everyday decision. And I am not the only one. It's an American tradition. I bet you thought that Trump would go to jail and Joe would listen. Well, you're not the only one. It's an American tradition.
The drop would go to jail and Joe would listen. Come on. But you're not the only one. It's an American tradition. So good. So good. Dude, good, great as a spoken word, great as a song, great as the theme for this hellscape that we're living in. And for this show that we produced. So wow.
Well, there you have it.
That was awesome.
I told you an hour, it was an hour and a half, and I didn't even do the co-op. So that's getting kicked over to next one.
That's the radio DJ's Inagata Davida, or the Do You Feel Like We Do? It's the We Have to Take a Crap song they put on for 16 minutes long. Like you know, you hear that somebody's making a run.
Yep. Yep.
For all the radio people out in there, all the youngins that understand what. Well, look, radio is still pretty damn popular. You know, I still listen. This morning, I was raging actually because I don't really listen to much commercial radio, and I don't spend much time in the car. When I drive my son to pre-K, and I'm flipping through, and 6 channels in the presets. Every single one had a commercial. I'm like, this is why we do Rumble. This is why we do podcasts. Yeah. This is why we do YouTube. Like, it was ridiculous. It was 8:15 in the morning, and all I wanted to do was hear a song with my son. And it was literally like station commercial,
not allowed.
Commercial, like across the board blanketed commercials. Like, wow.
Yep.
And so I've been running. So if you're in the mood at 8 in the morning, I've been running. How do we miss that clips and looping them on Rumble? So if you check out rumble.com/c/independent left news, like I'll loop them for 2 hours on Rumble, and it gets a few hundred views. Like this morning, I ran one about the three of the Cop City protesters who were two who were just released on bond. They'd been held since March, and $20,000 bond. They're being charged with domestic. Well, what they did was they came out. Actually, no, they weren't in March. They were flyering. They got arrested and put in jail for flyering. They were flyering near one of the 6 cops accused of murdering Tortuguita, and they were putting up flyers in his neighborhood saying that you have a cop killing. You have a murderer living among you, and with his name, not his address, but. You know, his name and picture. And so they arrested them for like inciting violence against a cop. But First Amendment rights, do they have a right to be there? It's like a whole story. So Reef and I went back and forth on that. Tomorrow morning I'll have another clip. And so every morning I've been putting up these clips because it's better than morning radio, I can tell you. And there's nobody doing it that early. So Fault Lines is it. By the way, Misty will be on Fault Lines tomorrow morning, 9:15 a.m. She messaged me. Timmy Kinnison, yes. Desert Mantis. Holy shit. All right. So Desert Mantis was watching last night on How Do We Miss That? I used an AI program. I put in a link to an article and I said, hey, AI program, summarize this and make me a slideshow. And it told me that this journalist named Timmy Kinnison got arrested and is suing Cop City people for the way he was treated. And we looked it up, and it turns out the journalist is not Timmy Kinnison, and there is no journalist named Timmy Kinnison, and there is no person that exists named Timmy Kinnison, and we have no idea how the AI pulled that fucking thing.
Who are these people?
Like literally, we went with.
Who are these people?
Yeah, it's 100%, and
it's an American tradition.
That's right. It is an American tradition, Joe. And
don't be rude.
Everybody cannot be rude. So for tonight, I think we're gonna have to make this kick everything over to volume 3, and whether that's gonna be next time or the time after that, because we also do need to do a Seuss reading. My kids are really giving me a hard time about a Seuss show. Every time it's what pet should I get? Did Jesse get what pet should I get? Did he read that yet? and then. Another one said the Lorax, and I know you said that you read the Lorax. I went through. I could not find that unless it.
No, I didn't. I don't own the Lorax.
Oh, okay. So we'll have to send the Lorax over, and Fox will love it. I know Fox loves Los Sus also.
Oh, shit.
So
YouTube just stole your super chat?
what? Sent a 10-piece. What? They'll probably just reject it. But damn. Thank you, Anthony. Damn.
I guess it's just because I'm such a bad boy.
Guess this isn't such an awful place. Can I check in some way? I can.
I'm just fucking dangerous.
Let me see if I can get into the studio control room. And top chats. When does bitch start? That's a good question. It's not going to start this Saturday night because it's holiday. But so it'll probably be like next Saturday night or the week after that, if anything. But we'll have to see when Misty's available. We're pretty much ready to go. Let me.
Oh, you know what?
see.
I got a little treat.
I'm not going anywhere.
Some Randy Newman for that ass.
Ooh! Got a friend in me.
Red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. There's a red moon rising on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. Now there's an oil barge winding on the Cuyahoga River, rolling into Cleveland to the lake. Cleveland, city of light, city of magic. Cleveland, city of light, you're calling me. Cleveland, even now I can remember, 'cause the Cuyahoga River goes smoking through my dreams. So burn on, big river, burn on. Oh, burn on, big river, burn on. Well, the Lord can make you tumble. Yeah, the Lord can make you turn. God can make you overflow. The Lord can make you burn. So burn on, big river, burn on.
It makes you think of Major League. Anytime I hear that song, that's the opening song to Major League. I mean, that's the only time and place I think I've ever heard that song. And it's just, anytime somebody says Randy Newman, I'm like, oh, that's an obscure one that I love that one. It's so good. Johnny Cash, Big River. You go from this to Johnny Cash. Yeah, VS Adams, yes, this is holiday weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend. You did try to mess with me, but then I remembered, wait a minute. My birthday is this weekend. Yeah, it's definitely this weekend. So.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Otherwise, I was about to dig out some Chumbawamba, but that's gonna wait for another night.
Somebody once. No.
That's Smash Mouth. How dare you?
That's great.
Flip the table. This interview is over.
That's it. Show's canceled. All those little Instagram reels. It's actually really funny using that Smash Mouth. But Chumbawamba's what? Hey, now you're an all-star. That's Chumbawamba.
No, that's also Smash
That's
Mouth.
also Smash Mouth. What?
That
Tub thumping. I get knocked down. Right. That's the one. I got it. I'm there. I'm.
But no, it was gonna be B-side Chumbawamba actually.
Took a minute.
I wonder if I can. Hang on.
Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. Cynic, I'll tell you privately when it's going to be. I don't want everyone to know. Yeah, we're just showing $2 in chat revenue, Anthony, so that did not go through.
Yeah, no, I can't Chumbawamba right now.
Nice. YouTube's a bunch of thieves. And stop
All right,
censoring. They took Laurie Spencer's channel down today. So go.
Well, that's horseshit.
Go subscribe over on the Rumbles to Laurie Spencer's channel because she thinks that she got knocked out for her RFK standing, which
I can see that.
Don't necessarily agree with, but she certainly has the right to say so and to feel that way. But yeah, they took her down, and I know he talks a lot about vaccines and that's a word
YouTube
that
loves that.
They don't like to talk about that word. So shout out to Lori and go give her a follow at Real Lori Spencer on Twitter as well if you're over on the Twitters. She's got great stuff other than the Kennedy stuff, and even still, she's calling out Democrats, she's calling out Republicans, and she's and she's willing to listen. And I think that for most of the people that are all in for a candidate at this point, willingness to listen is a very commendable thing because a lot of them are just all in for their guy or girl, and that's it. They're tunnel vision.
Yep.
But there's not going to be a primary, everybody. There's not. So you're either going to have to run against these guys in the general as an independent, or you're going to have to join the Republican Party and primary Trump.
Good luck. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. So, we're going to be back in a couple of weeks and to do another episode of American Tradition. It could be a Seuss. It could be something all different. I don't know. Jesse said that you were starting to get inspired to write some new stuff. I don't know if we're anywhere close to anything new, but you know what? Once in a while, Jesse, I know, has come up and been like, I'm inspired. I wrote a new thing today. Let's go live and do that. So that's still on the table, guys. So everybody subscribe. YouTube.com/INN/Indie News Network. Jesus Christ, I can't. We have fun here, people. All right. What else you got?
Yeah, I got nothing. That's it.
Well,
I spent it. Thank you guys as always.
Blow everybody a kiss goodnight, and as I always sign off by saying to keep questioning everybody's motivations, and Reef always likes to say to keep listening to what little birds have to say, and good night, fams. And so I'll just steal his line too. I know he loves it when I steal his lines. And let's do it up. Check this out, guys. Indie News Network, collaborative family of independent content creators. Co-hosted normally by me, Indie. I'm founder and editor of Indie Left News and Indie Media Today. I got Reef Breland sitting next to me.
At Kennedy News.
Is Andrew Rivera on The Handsome Cynic?
It's Politics and Survival.
My name is Jesse Jett.
It's American Tradition.
What's up, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden.
I mostly make art for INN.
Big Man Crab Joe. Keep up those great videos.
Hey guys, it's Yeti. Coming at you.
Hello, my name is Lucy from Blue Moon Red Wine.
This is Chris Legion.
Keep fighting that good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Who are these people?
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I
Suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually